In this video, we're going to create your ideal compassionate other. In my previous two videos, we identified our compassionate friend based on real people or perhaps animals. But here, we'll be going a little deeper, creating an ideal being. There is a link to a handout in the description below, and so you can print that to jot down your creative ideas, or you can just use a piece of blank paper. Hi, I'm Dr. Stan Steindl. For the purposes of creating an image of our ideal compassionate other, we'll draw again on people that we've known or known about, but then we'll embellish the image in our minds to create an ideal being, one who is wise, strong and courageous, committed and helpful. This ideal compassionate other doesn't suffer from the usual human weaknesses and flaws, but rather is exactly who you would want them to be. This ideal being understands the human condition and is powerfully compassionate towards your struggles. So let's work through a few steps to help you create this image of an ideal compassionate other. First, let's consider how you would like your ideal compassionate other to appear. Perhaps they can still be represented by your compassionate friend, but we can start to really be creative with that. For example, what gender would you like them to be? What is their age? How would you describe their shape, size, stature, or their clothing? What sort of facial expressions would they have? How might they communicate with you? What's their tone of voice? Now you have a sense of how the ideal compassionate other might appear. Start to consider what sort of personal qualities would you like this ideal compassionate other to have. You might imagine qualities such as wisdom, strength, courage and commitment. Plus any qualities you'd like to add, such as patience, tolerance, friendliness, warmth and humour. There are many possible versions of the ideal compassionate other, so give yourself time to create the image of a being that has the qualities that really feel right for you. Now, however the ideal compassionate other might appear, it has compassionate wisdom, understanding the human brain, how it's evolved, the way that it's really very tricky and can get caught up in tricky loops, and that it can be a source of our suffering. This is not our fault. Imagine how your ideal compassionate other might express or convey their wisdom, and how that might help you to feel safe and soothed. Remember, they are understanding, accepting, and non-judgmental. Next, the qualities of strength and courage of your ideal compassionate other are also infused with friendliness and helpfulness. The key is that they have a sense of emotional strength and solidness and stability, and they're able to inspire you to also feel strong and encouraged. How might this strength and courage be expressed in them? What skills help them to be supportive and helpful, or even protective? How might they bring their emotional strength and courage to helping you tolerate your distress or pain and suffering? Finally, consider the commitment of your ideal compassionate other to understand you and your mind and to help you to feel soothed, settled and balanced. They have a commitment to help you, to be sensitive to your suffering and committed to alleviating and preventing that suffering. They want you to thrive and flourish. How might they show their commitment to being helpful? Having created a sense of your ideal compassionate other, let's imagine how they might relate to you, and in turn how you might relate to them. If you like, bring to mind a minor life difficulty, something that you've recently been struggling with, and perhaps something that has brought you disappointment or anxiety or frustration. Next, imagine your ideal compassionate other. Bring to mind their wisdom, strength and courage, commitment to being helpful. Plus, add in any other qualities which you would really want your ideal compassionate other to have. How do you want your ideal compassionate other to relate to you about this life challenge? How might they relate emotionally? What do you imagine might be the quality of their tone of voice? What might they say or do to help you feel heard and understood and to connect you with wisdom? How do you imagine how you might relate to this ideal compassionate other? What kind of things would you like to say or do? What would you like to express or share with them? Remember, you can say or do anything you like, and this ideal compassionate other will deeply understand you and stay committed to being helpful. And so there they are, the image of your ideal compassionate other. This practical use of imagery can help us find our way through difficult thoughts and feelings, and help us to step back, take a different perspective, and find ways to alleviate our suffering and prevent our distress from getting worse. And once the ideal compassionate other is there, they're there forever, alongside you every step of the way on your compassionate journey.